Why does your brain not know it's real? Why can't it tell the difference between reality and fantasy, right? This is something we hear all the time. We're hearing, oh, your thoughts matter. Imagination, visualization, this can help create your reality because the brain doesn't know what's real or what's fake or what's fantasy and imagination and what's real. And this is true. There is ample evidence and more evidence, scientific, empirical, hard evidence that the brain cannot tell the difference between your imagination, your visualizations, your thoughts, and actual, tangible, palpable reality. And the reason why that is very simple. It's because there's no difference. It's because there's no such thing as a real, tangible reality that is distinct, separate from your imagination, from your internal world. Because the internal is a reflection of the external, and the external is a reflection of the internal. And the only reason why we draw a line between these two is ego and our senses. We think, actually, no, let me correct myself real quick. We've been brainwashed into thinking that if I can't see it, touch it, hear it, smell it, or taste it, it does not exist. Now, we have tools to detect things that operate outside of our five senses, but it must be mediated. Those tools must give us stimulus to our five senses, right? So things like imagination, intuition, visualizations, astral projection, things like that, remote viewing, these are seen as woo-woo fake. And the things we can touch and experience with our five senses or using the tools like, you able to detect microwaves and photons and things like that. We can't actually directly, atoms, we can't directly observe them or experience them, but proxies through tools like how you're experiencing me through this camera and your computer or a phone, whatever you're watching it on. So all of that to say, to just keep it focused, because I can go off the rails sometimes, so I got to keep myself focused. To keep it focused is the reason why our brains don't know the difference is because there actually isn't one. And our brain is correct, and the ego and our intellect and what we've been told is wrong. It has been told to us because if we understood the power of visualization, imagination, inner work, inner transformation, and how it can transform your external reality, if we understood that fundamentally, well, then the parasite class and those at the top would be threatened because people would wake up and understand, like, wait a second. So my thoughts do matter. The things that I absorb do matter. My focus, my attention, my will, my intention, it does matter. I do have control over my reality. Now, it can take time, depending on your karma, depending on your past actions, but momentum, circumstances, all of those things, right? Which kind of just boils down to your karma in many different forms, shapes and forms. It's choice, the choices you intentionally make, subconsciously or consciously, but either way, it's going to be intentional, it's biased, it's directed. If they understood this, then you could start to create your own reality. And it will always take time, especially if you're in a position you don't want to be in, or if you're not vibrating at the frequency that is aligned with the reality that you would like to create. These are things that we're all working on as humans who are not enlightened. So with all that said, we have to understand that yes, any boundary that you draw between, oh, that's just my imagination, that's just my thoughts. Well, your thoughts can affect your physiology, right? You think about going to the store before you do it. You might even imagine or visualize yourself going to the store and then you go to it. Oh my God, your visualizations led to reality. Why would that stop being the case? We're always thinking and observing or visualizing or imagining before we do things all the time. Think about, you do it negatively all the time, don't you not? Oh man, I really don't want to go to work. And you think about being at work and how much it sucks. You're visualizing it, right? And then boom, what happens? It's your reality. So we do it in the negative sense. We've been brainwashed into believing that visualization, imagination doesn't work, but we do it in the negative sense all the time. Imagining things that give us anxiety in the present moment, changing our physiology in the present moment, dreams that can affect our physiology, right? And again, where do those come from? They just say that the brain generates it, which is just a shorthand for we have no fucking idea what's going on with dreams. Because we understand that the brain is a receiver, the brain is tapping into other realms of existence. The brain is not creating anything. The brain is a product of creation. Humans don't create shit. Nothing is being generated from nothing in our being. It is being channeled and constrained finite beings from the all, from everything else. So I'm going to say it again. The reason why your brain doesn't know what's real versus fake or fantasy versus reality is because there is no difference. And any line we draw is arbitrary and based off of your own personal perspective or subjective, which is valid, obviously. That's not to say it isn't, but anywhere you draw the line, it's just, oh, these thoughts are real, but these are fake, or this visualization is real, but this, no, it's all the same. And the more that you reinforce those visualizations, those thoughts, those feelings, the more it congeals and starts to manifest in a more concrete way, where we would actually say, oh, it's real. This is why fake it till you make it is valid. This is why visualization is valid. This is why imagination and thought control and affirmations are valid. Is because, if anything, your imagination, your thoughts, your visualizations, your affirmations, they exist in a reality that precedes physical reality. Thought, mind, comes before tangible, physical, three-dimensional space and time. Imagination, visualizations operating at a more fundamental, higher realm of existence. So if we're being real here, no pun intended, visualization, imagination is actually more real than this. Because thought precedes concrete manifest reality. Thoughts matter. Your inner world matters. The outer world is a downstream, concrete, more static, less dynamic reflection, manifestation of your internal space, of all of our internal spaces. Fascinating stuff when you really think about it, boil it down, and understand that we are spiritual, conscious beings in a spiritual, conscious universe, and all the things that we're interacting with that we think are dead or lifeless or concrete are actually just lower vibrational, more static, concrete versions of consciousness, mind, awareness.